Hansel and Gretel. Once by a forest there lived a woodcutter. He had children, Hansel and Gretel. They also had a stepmother who disliked them and often told the woodcutter to leave them in the forest. One day, she forced the woodcutter to take his children with him to the forest and finally leave them there. The children were passing by and luckily overheard the stepmother. They gathered some pebbles to leave a trail for themselves to come home. When they returned that night, the stepmother was filled with rage. She argued with the woodcutter and made him take them to the forest again. This time, the children took a loaf of bread to leave a trail along the way. When they reached the woods, the children played while their father pretended to work. A while later, the woodcutter sadly left them alone and walked away. When the children couldn't see their father, they held hands and followed the bread trail. But the birds and animals had eaten the bread they had left behind. Poor Hansel and Gretel were now lost in the forest. The children walked a long distance till they came across a gingerbread house made of cookies, candies, and cakes. They were hungry too, so they started eating the window and relished every bite. That house belonged to a witch who promised the children delicious food to eat and soft beds to sleep in. She opened the door and invited them in. Once inside, the witch put Hansel in cage and made Gretel cook and clean. She wanted to feed Hansel and fatten him up before cooking and eating him. One day, Gretel made some soup, but the witch yelled at her saying, "I want to eat your brother today. See if the oven is hot. I need to save my brother," is all that poor worried Gretel could think of. The witch then went to the larder to pick up some herbs and berries. Gretel saw her chance and took it. She locked the witch in. Gretel then released her brother and checked if he was well. Then, they took the witch's wealth. Once again, started for their home together. When the children reached their house, the woodcutter was delighted to see them. He said, "My children, you found your way. Their stepmother has left them," and so, Hansel, Gretel and their father lived happily from then on. Moral of the story: do not trust strangers, even if they treat you well. In a lot of situations, the ability to think on your feet can help. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to Little Stars Stories for Kids for more interesting stories.